Hey guys, it's Roscoe on the Space Cat set. It's time for part 12 of my Star Wars book collection. This consists of the art of books and the dictionaries and that sort of thing. So, propaganda. I haven't finished going through this myself yet, but let's have another little look at it. We will be having an in-depth look in due course. So, I think we saw that before. This is the one that's very similar to that arch in the 3PO beginning, you know, where they crash on the planet. There's a fantastic one, very Art Deco inspired. 1,000 Years of Peace. Chancellor Valorum, when he was still Chancellor, was organising that for the 1000th anniversary of the Galactic Empire. Now, there's a great one there. You see a lot of style of art with this drippingness, you know. I really like that style. And obviously there's By Republic War Bonds. There's some more signs there. Resist. Yes, indeed. Fantastic. The level of detail they've gone into for something like this is great. Brilliant. Rise. And there's another one. There, what's that one for? We fight, we win. Join the Imperial Forces. Looks like an attack commander. What else do we have? There's just one of the Stormtroopers. There. And obviously, front cover Rebellion, back cover the Empire. Marvellous, marvellous book, and we shall have a lovely look at that in due course. Next, the complete locations, which we've had a first look, and we did look at the, what was it, the, I can't remember the one we looked at now, the Yavin base. So I'm just trying to find one that's really, really complicated. Remember, you don't want to sell me death sticks? This is that club on Coruscant. You can see how complicated it is. All of the extra things that's in there. What else do we have? Tipoca City, which is on Camino. You see that's where all the clones are. See how tightly packed it all is. You have the giant chambers, and then down here you have like training centres and of course rest areas. What else do we have? The droid factory on Geonosis, where 3PO goes for his wander about. You see, it's very complicated. Yes, but it's great. And then obviously the execution arena on Geonosis. Then you have things like Count Dooku's escape route on Geonosis, you know, just before his fight with Obi-Wan and Anakin. What else do we have? Here, this is the attack, this is the battle between the two fleets above Coruscant and the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, and it shows you the route that Obi-Wan and Anakin take in there. And there is the mine on Mustafar, where Anakin fully embraces the dark side and becomes Darth Vader. So yes, marvellous. Now, there's several very complicated ones, for instance. I just want to show you Hoth Base. That's it initially, the Battle of Hoth, and then the base. Remember I said how complicated Yavin Base was? This is just as complicated, if not more so. There's more of those GR-75s, X-Wings and Y-Wings there. That will be quite difficult to do an in-depth on just because it's a fold-out like this, but I'm sure we will in due course. What else? And then just from the Force Awakens, we have here, I think we've seen this before, the Jakku junkyard and the escape routes that the guys all take, trying to get off that world, Rey, Finn and Poe. Yeah, and there's just space attack there. There's her speeder bike, because I always wondered where it was. I thought she would have parked it in between the legs, but no, that's where it is. There's a little bit in the back for it. Now, next, we did have a look at this, but it never actually made it into an individual part of my Star Wars book collection, I believe. So, the Force Awakens Visual Dictionary. Los Anteca. I was watching Force Awakens again yesterday. There is the Flame... Oh, come here. Flame Trooper. One of my favourite pieces of the Elite series, by the way. It's a wonderful collection. This Kylo Ren's spread, and there's a bit on the workings of his lightsaber that mentions a cracked kyber crystal there, of course, is Rey. What a wonderful character she is. So, yes, that's just from there. A lot of this focuses on people like Constable Zuvio and Sarko Prank. He's in Weapon of a Jedi, and somewhere in the background in The Force Awakens, I've yet to see him. TIE Fighter pilot, obviously, which we also reviewed recently. A great piece, of course, and Chewbacca. I haven't got a Chewbacca. There's one in the Black Series I'm thinking about getting, but I'd rather have it in the Elite if they do it. Now, the Art of the Force Awakens, which we had our in-depth look at earlier this year. Fantastic art. We'll just quickly look at a couple of things. I'm guessing this is meant to be an iteration of Maz's Cantina at the top there. Let's see what else. There's a great one here. One of the early versions of the big showdown at the end, of course. Let's see. Poe Dameron. It's Finn, formerly Sam. It looks like it might have been before they changed. I think we saw that one before in the full review. The Falcon crash landed on Starkiller Base. General Organa in the middle there. Maz's Castle, an early version of it, of course. Yes, here, two and all, essentially. There's Kylo Ren's shuttle, and there's the village being wiped out, and there's a place, and you see that's probably Kylo at the top there, slicing down Lord Santeca. Well, actually, the mask is from what became the Guavian Death Gang. And there, that'll be Leader Snoke, of course. We see those sorts of scenes in there. And let's see, very familiar, of course. This essentially went straight into the movie. Today is the end of the Republic, the end of a regime that acquiesces to disorder, and all of that, all remaining systems will bow to the First Order. Now, we had our first look at this one also, The Art of Rogue One. There will be one of these for episode 8, and I will be acquiring it, of course. So, it's a quick look in there. There's droids and ships. I think this eventually became Morph. There's that. But I'm not 100% certain. Now, I think it looks a bit Battlestar Galactica-y, that one, although it's shortened and truncated, you know. It definitely has that feel to it. Yavin. See, here it's almost like conical, isn't it, rather than a four-sided pyramid. But we've seen the inside of this, and we know how huge it is. To bring it closer, there is all of the X-Wings there. We also see the Ghost parked in front of it at some point. And we've also seen the U-Wing and the shuttle outside. Here's just a couple of versions of the U-Wing. I think the design they settled on was was the best, obviously, of all of them. There's just some more of those concepts there. Yeah, they said they ended up just having to do 1,000 designs for it, literally. Here are some people that we see on Jeddah, some of the pilgrims, you know, the people with the box heads and everything. Slightly, but not that much reminiscent of the Imperial Guard design. What else do we have? There's a nice one of a square in Jeddah. We'll just have a few more images from this, I think. More Jeddah scenes. This Saw Gerrera's hideout, of course. I believe that was some kind of older temple, was it? Concept that wasn't used. A crashed ship. I do like that very much. And then, if you've seen the film, that's a very familiar sight also. It also makes it into one of those trailers as well. On Eadu at the landing platform. And of course, how could we not have that? So that is another quick look at the Art of Rogue One. And then, of course, finally we have... This is actually a lot thicker than the Force Awakens visual guide. I suspect that's because this can be a one-off and it's all explained. Force Awakens, a lot of it, there might be more information to come in later films. Like, say, in the complete locations, the later ones are a little bit lacking. Like the car base isn't that big, but it's probably just because we haven't seen it all yet and they don't know how far it goes. Here's Lamu, there's the droid, there's Galen. Oh, his wife Lyra, by the way, went to university on Rodrig, which it says here, which if I recall correctly, is from Han Solo and the Lost Legacy, which I absolutely loved. It's one of those little mini novels in the late 70s, early 80s. Yes, studies at the University of Rodrig. I don't know if it had been canonised previously, but it's great to see that in there now, because I always loved that book. It was magnificent. I mean, it was just wonderful. There's the shuttle, Krennic's shuttle. It's an odd shape, it just looks like a triangle. Peace disrupted. Of course, the Death Troopers, they were great in the film. General Merrick, he's awesome with his big old tash from the 70s. There's some of the rebel senators. This is the lady who speaks. One of these is the Minister of Finance. There's Bail Organa. There is the cutaway of the U-Wing. When I finally get my hands on a U-Wing, we'll do an in-depth unboxing and review of it with this material, I think, so we can compare. Now, the decraniated. These are servants who've had the higher brain functions removed by, now, how does it describe him? A fugitive surgeon, aka Dr. Evazan and Ponda Baba. Yes, indeed. It's good to see them pop up in Rogue One. That must be one of the systems where he has a death sentence on his head. Here are some stormtroopers in the market. There's Director Krennic. Ironic how he met his end. There's Galen Erso. Really enjoyed Mads Mikkelsen's performance in this film. Certainly helped explain some of those flaws. I've got to show you that one again because that is an awesome shot. I absolutely love that. Yes, it explained how the Death Star just had a great big gaping hole in it, basically. Shore Troopers on Scarif. Loved their design. It was fantastic. What else do we have? There's just an up-close one of him. Now, there's a lot of information in the visual guide. So it's more likely that we'll be dipping in and dipping out for individual little bits rather than doing an entire in-depth review because it would just take too long. There's the AT-ACTs. They were brilliant. I loved them. They're about 9 metres taller than standard walkers, apparently. Classic ship. Love the Y-Wing. Never owned one. Hopefully I will soon. And there is the Profundity, which of course has another ship hidden on it. So yes, that is just the art books of Star Wars that I have. All fantastic, such great detail. Really helps to add to your appreciation when you see these other concepts, which then when they later turn up, you say, oh, that was from such and such. You know, like we saw in the Art of the Force Awakens, those doorways and the corridor in the rain with Rey and Finn walking down it. That looks to be, it's now in episode 8 with that Croatian filming, you know. And of course things like the original Death Trooper helmet became the hover, he's not a hover tank pilot anymore, he's a combat tank driver helmet. So yes, indeed, it's great to see these. And they're always bringing the old Ralph McQuarrie designs back from the dawn of time back into the films as well, like the Gate at Nema Outpost. So anyway, guys, thought I would just share with you my art book collection of Star Wars. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment suggestion for an upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.